Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Early prediction and breakdown. In this video, you know what the fight they're going to do next. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz is just going to happen. Who is Nate going to fight in the UFC? Who is Jake Paul going to realistically fight next? This is the fight that's going to happen. Nate Diaz had a scuffle after Jake Paul's win over Anderson Silva, which Jake Paul had a phenomenal performance against Anderson Silva in a unanimous decision win. And Nate Diaz had a scuffle with Jake Paul's team. Backstage, he was kicked out of, I think, the arena, or kicked out of the backstage area. But this is the fight that's going to happen. It's going to happen. Unless Nate comes back and re-signs with the UFC, which I highly doubt. After his win over Tony Ferguson, he even said, I want to go to the boxing world, make something great there. Then maybe I'll come back and I'll come back to the UFC. That's what Nate said. And who is Nate going to fight? In boxing, he's going to fight Jake Paul. That's certain now, in my opinion. That's certain. I think that's official. I don't know if he's going to fight in boxing. We don't know yet. But if he does fight in boxing, he's going to fight Anderson Silva, the guy that lost to Jake Paul? If Nate beats Silva, it'd be good. But if Nate beats Jake Paul, that's crazy. So I think this is the next fight they're going to do. Nate scuffled with his team backstage. Why would he scuffle with Jake Paul's team backstage? Why? Why would he do it? Why Jake Paul's team? Because I think he has some hatred against Jake Paul. And I think this is the fight they're going to do next. Jake Paul opens as a huge betting favorite over Nate Diaz for a potential boxing match. And I agree. Nate, what are the odds? Minus 260 on betonline.ag. Yeah. Or is that Anderson Silva? Yeah, no. Minus 260 to plus 200 underdog in Nate Diaz. This is the fight they're going to do next. And I do believe Jake wins pretty easily, if I'm honest with you. Pretty easily. He's going to beat Nate Diaz, I think, pretty easily. I'd say late round 2 TKO. I'd say late round 2 TKO for Jake Paul. Yeah, I think Jake wins that, man. Pretty easily. I like Nate. He's good, Nate Diaz. But you got to take into consideration, Jake Paul is 25 years old. If he was 28, turning 29, or 29 to 30, it's still pretty young. But 25 years old. He was born in 1997, I do believe. 1997. If you're born in 2000, you're 22 years old, and he's 25. So that means, unless his birthday's later this year, who knows? It's October now. It's basically November now, so if it's later, I don't even know when his birthday is, but if it's later this year, then... But I'm going to suspect that he had his birthday this year, and he's 25 years old. Nate Diaz is 37, getting close to 38. That's what I think you got to take into consideration. Into consideration here. In my opinion, Jake's going to win this, I think. I think Jake wins this. Body shots as well, I think will be huge here for Jake. I just don't see Nate winning. Cardio can be a thing, and Jake was slowing down against Silva. And I understand Nate has a good chin, arguably a better chin than Silva, but Silva took bombs off Jake. Silva has a good chin. I think we all came in there thinking, Silva's going to be goofy, get KO'd. And that, let's be real, he basically got KO'd in the 8th round. Was goofy and got cracked. Not goofy. I wouldn't say goofy. That word specifically. He was over-aggressive, in my opinion. I think that's what we need to use. But yeah, I have to pick Jake. I have to pick Jake Paul here. Big power early. Nate has to survive all of that. in my opinion. And I think he'll be focused on not getting KO'd. And I think he's going to leave his body open a lot. I think he'll have a high guard here. Land some 1-2s himself. But 1-2s work against guys like the current welterweight champ, Leon Edwards. You know. But again, Edwards was whooping him. So unless Jake, I think Jake has a better chin than Edwards. I think that he has a big head, Jake Paul. And he has a better chin than Leon Edwards, arguably. He showed decent cardio against Silva. Decent cardio, but of course, I think Nate's kind of the test for cardio in that case. But yeah, I just don't see Nate getting this, man. I really don't. I don't see him KOing Jake. I don't see him. He could outpoint him, but that's just unlikely. If Silva is struggling. I mean, Silva was arguably winning before the big knockdown in the 8th round, which caused the 10-8 round. Jake wins 5-4. But before, I don't see Nate outpointing him. But what was I saying before? Yes, if Silva's barely getting by before the knockdown, barely scraping by a close fight, Silva we're talking about. I know Silva's older, but Nate's also old as well, man. I don't know. I just don't see Nate outclassing him. I think Nate needs to find that one punch. This is the game plan for Nate. Land big shots all fight long. Invest crazy, which he just won't. Nate won't invest. There's no way. Unless he 1-2s to the body, but let's be real, Nate doesn't have power in his hands. I think Edwards, he rocked Edwards, and people will say, Nate's the real champ. Look what Edwards just did to Usman. But to be honest with you here, if I'm being honest with you here, I just think Jake Paul is just decently a good boxer. And I don't think you can put him in that, not her, jeez, I'll calm down, but I don't think you can put him in, I don't think you can call him a YouTuber boxer. I don't think so at this point, and this is the fight they're going to do next. Jake should look at this, forget KSI. KSI is completely fucking garbage shit. You beat Pineda, who's garbage and was paid to lose, same with Swarms. And, Jake will win this. Against Nate. Yeah, he'll win against Nate Diaz. I think. Stop making it close in some rounds against Ferguson on the feet, man. You know, stop playing around. Eventually got the guillotine, but what is he going to do? Guillotine Jake Paul in a boxing match? Yeah, we're going to turn WWE version this time. But yeah, I highly doubt it. Jake's too much, in my opinion. Jake's going to win. Too good as well. I have to go Jake Paul. Body shots. I think early on, Nate's going to be really patient. Jake's going to wing a lot over blows. Nate's going to middle finger him, try slapping him, land some shots. Jake's landing big shots. Nate gets stumbled one moment. Round 1 close. Jake wins it. Jake should win it, but people will score at Nate. Round 2, I think Jake's going to land big shots. Cut open Nate around over the eyebrow. Big shot, Nate's landing back, but Jake's landing big shots at him. Big shots, they clinch up, and Jake will land a 1-1-2. 1-1-2 to a big body shot right afterwards. Put Nate down. Nate just sits there for a few seconds, and he gets back up. They called off. Body shot to a standing TKO from Jake Paul. Too good in my opinion. I think Jake wins it. And Jake Paul. Late 2nd round TKO. Yeah, Nate will lose, in my opinion. Jake wins it. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Do this in MSG as well. If that's what I do if I'm them. Do this in MSG. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Yeah, early prediction. Peace.